Hey everyone, I'm Meisha Dang. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I know it's been a while, but I know that this video is very requested and I'm really excited to share it with you guys because I have some amazing news. This video is all about my second half of my February budget. So January was my first full month of budgeting and I'm not gonna lie, it was rough. I think I just got really frustrated and ended up kind of giving up on the budget. Luckily, I didn't really go over that much. This month is going to change. I feel newly inspired because I hit a goal. I feel like every time you hit financial goals, you get re-inspired and reminded as to why you're doing this in the first place. So enough chit-chatting. Let me talk about the big news. The big news here is I paid off my car. Lukey, I paid off my car. Yeah, you don't care. I think the goal was to try and pay it off by March. I was able to pay it off an entire month in advance. I think there was about $7,000 left on that, and I paid that off in 2 months. The reason why I was able to pay off my car in 2 months is because of my commercials. If I didn't get payments from the commercials I've been doing for the past couple months, I wouldn't have had the money to pay it off. I probably would have had to take till March to pay off my car, which is fine. Instead of breaking down my budget, which I've been doing for the past month in these videos, I'm gonna talk about my revenue stream because I know a lot of you are freelancers and something that you're interested in. However, my budget is going to be in the description box. So go ahead and click that. The reason why I wanna do it this way this month is because essentially the budget is the same. If you guys watched last month's budget video, you kind of get the gist of what's happening. There are a couple things I want to talk about regarding my budget, but I did want to focus on revenue streams because I feel like, one, it has to be talked about, especially if you guys are going to follow me throughout this process, and two, maybe it'll help you think of new side jobs that could actually pay some really good money. So again, budget is going to be in the description box, so check that out. A couple things I wanted to mention that were frequently asked questions on my last couple budget videos. Now, the main question was, what does Brian pay for? And Brian actually pays for a lot. He makes way more money than I do, actually. So far, what we've been doing is, like in terms of rent and stuff, we kind of just split that down in half. What Brian does pay for is dog health insurance and the internet. However, the reason why my budget seems so inflated for a family of 2 plus 2 dogs, I guess, is because since I'm trying to budget, what I'm trying to do is figure out what a good solid budget for our family is. And then once I do that, then we can go ahead and split like the grocery budget in half and the pet stuff in half. But until then, for me, it's easier to just take care of it, the home good stuff on my own. For instance, Brian is leaving for China for 2 months. So he just travels a lot for work, and it's just easier for me, since I do the shopping, to pay for the groceries and like home supplies and stuff, because I know what we need and I'm the one that's normally home. Honestly, we're still trying to figure it out, even though we've been like living together for 3 years. But now that I'm on a budget, things are totally changing in terms of how we spend money. So I'm just trying to figure that out first, and then maybe Brian and I can jump on a video together and talk to you about how we work things out. Health insurance, good question. I have my health insurance through SAG. SAG is the Screen Actors Guild. It's an actors union. I am not myself like a professional actor, but I do commercials, and I will talk about that in a little later in this video. And what I did was I paid for the year. So that's why you don't see health insurance in my budget. My phone bill, in all honesty, my mom still pays for my phone bill. I'm finally making enough money to where I can take over that responsibility. So I think I'm going to see her in March, and then we can go ahead and switch that. I know since I started this journey, it seems like I've been making a lot of money, and I have, which is honestly new to me. But there's like a couple years ago, I was always in the red. I always was overdrafting. I would sell stuff just to pay rent like it was a major struggle. So don't think that I'm this really rich person because last month I made $16,000, because my life hasn't always been like that. When you work hard and when you focus, that's when you start to make more money, and that's what's happening right now. There are going to be a couple changes in my budget that I will talk about once we hit that. Retirement fund, you guys know that I started this whole journey through Dave Ramsey. The thing about Dave Ramsey is that he believes that what you need to do is build your emergency fund, which is, he says $1,000. I have more than that in my emergency fund just in case, because I've been through some emergencies. Pay off all your debt first, and then you can go into retirement. So he doesn't recommend saving for retirement until you're done paying off your debt. I have been speaking to a financial advisor. I am meeting with her on Tuesday. So we're going to talk through the numbers in our meeting about a realistic contribution to my retirement fund, because right now my retirement fund is $0. But I made it very clear to her that getting rid of my debt is number one on the to-do list. So we're going to see what numbers are realistic to not only pay off my debt in ideally 3 to 4 years, but also have enough money for retirement in when I'm 60, 70. So those are the things that I wanted to talk about before going into my revenue stream. I know those were questions that you guys had in your mind to ask me, so I hope I covered it all. And now let's get to my revenue stream. Okay, so what is my job? What do I tell people my job is? I tell people that I work in social media. Some people call it influencers. I personally hate that. It sounds douchey to me. So I just say that I work in social media, and if people ask me more, I say I just work with brands to help promote them on my social media platforms. That is my full-time job. It wasn't always my full-time job. I used to be a television host, but now this is something that I do full-time, and it's something that I'm finally able to live off of. Most of the time where I do my budget is through my brand deals. The scary thing about being an influencer is that you don't always have control about when you get paid. So I'm still waiting on payment from last year, April. So how do brand deals work is they reach out to you or they reach out to your team. I have a manager that mostly deals with all of my brand deals, and then depending on what their budget is and depending on what they want, we kind of negotiate terms from there. My rates vary from an Instagram post, an Instagram video, a YouTube mention, a YouTube dedicated video. So those are the kind of things that determine my pay. Another way that I just started to get paid in this weird new revenue stream is AdSense. I was with an MCN, which is a multi-channel network, for a really long time, and they took my AdSense, and then once I left, I just didn't get AdSense. So I just assumed that I wouldn't get AdSense unless I signed with another MCN, but I was recently told in January that that wasn't in fact true. You just have to sign up for AdSense, and as long as you hit the $100 threshold for, I guess, the month, then you start getting paid. If you post videos on YouTube, not necessarily even full-time, make sure your AdSense is on and you're monetizing. I know a lot of people in the YouTube community have been having problems with AdSense and not getting paid and not being demonetized and stuff. I haven't had that issue. AdSense payments come in around the 20th of every month. So once I get that, I'm gonna post this video tomorrow, which is the 16th. Once I get paid my AdSense, then I'm gonna adjust my budget from there, because right now my budget is just including my brand deals. But around the 20th, I'll go ahead and add my AdSense to my budget and then adjust my budget from there. AdSense for the last 2 months has been around $2,000, so you can get a gist about that. And that's why YouTube, I think, is a really great side job. If you have a full-time job and maybe want to create something on the side, YouTube is good because it's a nice passive income. So the other way I get money is through commercials. There are 2 different types of, I guess, acting jobs you can take. One is non-union and the other is SAG. SAG essentially is when you see one of my commercials on TV. Every time that commercial is aired, you get residuals. Not only do you get paid for your fitting and for the day of shooting, but you can also possibly get residuals every time your commercial is aired, which is really cool. Unfortunately, with online content and online commercials, residuals aren't what they used to be, but it's still a pretty decent check. Non-union is just you don't get paid residuals, so you get paid a flat fee. Sometimes that can be as low as $500, sometimes that can be as high as $20,000. So it really just depends. It really just depends on the brand that you work with and what type of content it is. So right now I have 2 commercials going on. I have a SAG commercial that I shot 2 years ago that just got renewed. It's for Toyota, so I know a lot of you guys have texted me or messaged me that you've seen it. And the other one is a commercial for Samsung. It's non-union, but it's an international run. My 3 main sources of an income are brand deals, AdSense, and commercials. So I am definitely, I would say, kind of a floater when it comes to my job. My job is not always guaranteed. My money is not always guaranteed. But the cool thing about doing what I do is that the more you work, the more content you put out there, the more money you will get. The only time that people in my job stop making money is when they stop making content. So as long as you know your creative juices are flowing and you're committed to content, this could be a pretty nice job or side job for you if you're looking for one. The other things I wanted to talk about was my dog walking and dog sitting and my merchandise. Now, my merchandise is not going to be on my revenue stream or my budget for a really long time, because not only does 10% go to charity, but anything that is left over is just going to be in my merch account, so we can just reuse that money for the next launch and for the next charity. So I won't be taking a dime from that account for, I guess, for a really long time. The women's launch was very successful. A lot of you guys really loved the clothing and the hat. We still do have, I think, maybe a couple extra smalls and smalls left in the Not Your Property shirt and hats left. But all in all, you guys really love the Support Your Girl shirt. It sold out twice. And I was actually worried that that one wouldn't sell out because it is kind of risque, but you guys loved it. Then dog walking, you guys know that I started this journey with dog walking and dog sitting. Those numbers aren't going to be on my budget either. 1, because they're very small, and 2, because I want to save it for the dogs. So those are my revenue streams. I hope you did find this interesting. If you have any questions about anything in this weird career that I have. Again, paid off my car, $7,000 in 2 months. I hope I answered all of your questions. Again, please check out the description box where my budget is going to be. If you have any questions about anything that I've talked about today, please let me know in the comments. Now it's time to seriously jump down my student loan budget. Again, I have $187,000 in student loans. So we are going to attack it with gazelle-like intensity, as Dave Ramsey says. If you guys have any advice or words of encouragement for me to start this journey, please let me know. I'm Asia Dang. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was informative, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.